in a gentle way as well, not just like in a, let's only focus on this. Anything in particular? No? No? Okay, cool. Like I said, take what you need, leave what you don't, and we'll get started in a seat. So if you have a yoga mat, I don't technically use a yoga mat for my classes here, but if you have a yoga mat, awesome. If you have yoga blocks, cool. If you have a pillow, even if it's just like a little throw pillow that you would put on the couch, can be really nice and useful to sit up on just to elevate your hips a little bit. Or if you want to sit on a block, that's cool too. You want to sit on the floor, awesome. So you might notice I won't do any poses on my belly. I'm actually surprised, Kathy. I know I haven't seen you in a while, but I am 22 weeks pregnant. So with my second child. So it has been a roller coaster, but I feel like I am expanding, but I have to also take care of my body in that way. So you might see me modify a few things, but I'll use my words as best I can. So we'll get started in a seat. I'll spotlight my camera just so everyone can see, hopefully, okay? Cool. So yeah, we'll just start in just a gentle seat. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. So once you find that comfortable seat, go ahead and take a little bit of movement with the head and the neck. So you can start to drop your chin maybe a little bit closer towards your chest here. And then feel the back of your neck lengthen. And then you can start to roll just your right ear over towards the right shoulder to feel the left side of your neck get a little bit longer. And then roll your chin back towards center and let your head roll over to the left to find that stretch to the right side. And then you'll come back to center and then start to lift your chin up towards the ceiling, just to your degree, so you can open through the front of the throat. And then come back, find what would feel like neutral. So just the weight of your head right on top of your spine. Think about the top of your head rising a little bit higher, and then your shoulders dropping away from your ears. Close your eyes if that feels okay. And then either stay here or place one hand onto your belly, wherever feels comfortable. So then you can just take your next breath in and notice how your body starts to expand. And then breathe out. And you find a sense of ease or relaxation on your exhale. And do that a few more times. So breathing in to expand. And breathing out to soften. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then let your hand just rest back on your knee and your lap or on your thigh. And take a bigger inhale. And then on your exhale, you might even open up your mouth and let out just the slow, audible sigh, inviting in even more ease. For me, hearing that sound is like a release. And do that whenever you need throughout your practice today or throughout the rest of your day. And just be like permission to just like, like take a sigh out so you can feel something release, whether it's tension in your body or even tension in your mind. It can be helpful to just take a big breath in and a big sigh out.
And you can stay here, of course, for as long as you need. If stillness is exactly what you've been craving, of course, you can stay, or whenever you're ready, you can just blink your eyes open, take in a little bit more light, and meet me in hands and knees, tabletop pose. You can move that pillow or block, if you have it, off to the side. And once you are in tabletop pose, see if your knees can land almost right underneath your hips, your hands about shoulder width distance apart, and then spread your fingers nice and wide to grip the ground a little bit more. And then just start with gentle cat cows here. So warming up the spine, start to let the belly drop down, let the tailbone rise. And then maybe start to look straight ahead here, just to your degree. So you find this sort of stretch in the back as the spine starts to sink down towards the ground. And then as you exhale, start to round your upper back up towards the ceiling and drop your head. You might even look in between your knees. And do that 2 more times, 2 more rounds. Inhale to drop the belly, find cow pose. And then exhale, round, drop the head. Last one, inhale to cow. Slow exhale to cat. Excellent. And then you'll come back to neutral. Start to just send your right leg behind you, and you can let it float about hip height if that feels okay. And then start to find movement in the ankle here. Twirl it around both directions. Fan out the toes, create space in between them. And then tuck your toes onto the ground. Start to press back through your heel here. So the back of the leg gets a little bit longer. You get maybe a little bit of a stretch in the calf muscles. And then start to spin that heel down towards the ground. So the outer edge of your right foot lands on the ground. And if you want, if you have a block, you can even bring it underneath your left hand here to lift up a little higher. If you don't have a block, no big deal. Just reach your right hand up towards the sky. And then reach your right fingertips forward to find more length to the right side of your body here. Just take one more big breath in. Can you reach a little bit further? Excellent. And then bring your right hand down. Come back to that 3-legged tabletop pose. So move the block off to the side. You'll pick that right leg up. Take one more big breath in right here. Now see if you can slowly step your right foot outside your right hand. Might take a moment to wiggle walk it to that space. So you're just coming into a little bit of a lunge. You might even rock your hips forward to find a stretch there. And then heel toe your right foot in a little bit more for support. And then reach your hands up towards the sky. So as you reach up overhead, you might even then take your right hand, wrap it around your left wrist, and then tip your torso to the right. So it's almost like you have this little assist where you're just leaning over, lengthening through the left side. One more big breath in to reach back up. And then right knee comes to meet the left. Tabletop pose. A breath in to find cow, return to that shape. And then exhale to round the spine, drop the head, cat pose. Now you'll switch. So send the left leg behind you about hip height. Roll the ankle, I should say. Fan out the toes. When you're ready, tuck the toes onto the ground behind you, press back through that heel. Find that stretch through the back of the leg. Nice, and then you'll spin that heel down, maybe a block under your right hand to reach the left hand up to the sky. So you open up to the left side of your mat. Reach your left fingertips forward. Creating that nice long line. Can you make it even longer by reaching through your fingertips? And then reach back up. Bring your left hand down. Pick that left leg up behind you. You're coming back into that 3-legged tabletop. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Just for a moment, just like get your bangs. You might feel that nice stretch as you Just bring your hips, your pelvis a little bit further forward, and then pull back a bit. Now heel toe your left foot in even more. Reach your hands up to the sky. Now this time it's your left hand to wrap like a bracelet around your right wrist to then tip you over to the left. You might notice this requires a little bit more balance, so press through your front big toe, press down into the ground. Reach back up on an inhale, and then bring your left knee to meet your right. Now, once you are here, start to bend the elbows wide like goalposts. And then think about lifting through the sternum here. Just finding this opening across the chest if it feels okay, nice and gentle. One more breath in. And then exhale, release. Hands to the ground. Tabletop pose. Now, instead of cat-cow here, we need to take lateral movement side to side. So think about the letter C in both directions. So right ribs over to the right, left ribs to the left. Just creating that movement side to side. Let it be mindful. So nice. Now, if you would like, and if it feels okay, you can even tuck your toes and lift your knees up and send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So this doesn't have to be your biggest down dog, your most perfect down dog. I want you to bend your knees a lot and just press the ground away with your hands. Maybe then start to pedal the feet. So bend one knee more than the other and straighten the opposite leg. So you're like pedaling a bike almost. And take your feet a little wider. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend your knees a lot. To then slowly, slowly, slowly roll up to standing. Once you're there, then heel toe your feet back underneath your hips and bring your palms forward. So finding this simple mountain pose. But again, can you lift up through the top of the head? Soften the shoulders away from the ear. A full breath in. Maybe open the mouth, finding that ease on your exhale. Do that one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then playing with balance a little more, you can bring your hands together just to shift your weight into the left foot and start to bring your right knee up about hip height. Now, if right away your balance feels not so steady, bring your right big toe to the ground. Totally fine. You're still working this balancing shape, but with like a little bit of a kickstand. Totally fine. And can you lift up a little taller through the spine? Stay here or start to send your right heel forward a bit. So maybe your foot just floats, creating a little bit of strength in that front leg. And I want you to take one big step with that right foot forward. Nothing too fancy. And then you'll bring your back heel up off the ground. Start to bend your right knee. You're still facing forward. Reach your hands up to the sky. And like you did before, if you want, create that bracelet. Your right hand wraps around your left wrist. And tip over. The torso can lean a bit to the right. You're finding a little bit more of a stretch in the front of that left hip. Creating just a little bit more space. You'll reach back up. And then you'll open up to warrior two. So now you face the long edge of your mat. Your right toes will still face forward and your right knee can stack on top of your right ankle. And your arms reach out long. And you might even soften the shoulders by softening the elbows. That's totally fine too. Maybe even hands come together in front of your heart. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Now you get to straighten both legs. Face the long edge of your mat, but you'll parallel both feet. So all 10 toes face the long edge of your mat. And then your hands can come to your hips as you slowly start to fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to. If it's too much to drop your head into like a complete forward fold, keep your chest lifted, almost parallel to the ground. And then if you want, you can bend one knee, shift weight to one side, and then shift weight to the other side. And do that maybe one more time, right and left. So nice. Now I want you to see your right foot. You'll frame it at the top of your mat. So just coming into that lunge, dropping your back knee, similar to where we were before. Reach both hands up to the sky. Right knee comes to meet the left. This time you'll hook your thumbs up above your head and think about the letter O. So your elbows go wide out to the side, creating that letter O around your head. Lift your sternum, maybe lift your chin just a bit. So open through the chest. One more breath in. Release your hands down, tabletop pose. Either lateral movement side to side or cat-cow, your choice. Just take a few more rounds of breath just to return to this familiar shape. Returning to your inhale. And then finding ease on your exhale. And if you'd like, tuck your toes. Float your knees to bring your hips up and back to that downward facing dog, but with bent knees. Nice and easy. Take your feet a little wider. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend your knees a lot. And either walk your hands so slowly up your legs to rise nice and slow. Sometimes standing up too fast can be way too much. You find your pace, but you'll come up to standing. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer. Palms facing forward. Take a breath in to shrug your shoulders. A breath out, open your mouth, let them soften. Return to that home base again. Breathe in through your nose. Find ease on your exhale. And you can bring your hands together. Now you'll shift your weight into your right foot. And you can start to play with balance here. Pick up your left knee, hip height if you'd like. If you want to play with balance here, you can, or just take your left big toe and just lightly place it on the ground for a little more support. Take what you need. Stand up really tall here. Try not to let your chest melt forward, but can you lift it up towards your thumbs? Maybe send that left heel forward. Let the leg float for a little more strength in the quads for one more breath in. And then you'll just step that left foot forward. You can lift the back heel up here and maybe even soften that back knee. You're coming into a lunge, so reach the hands up overhead. It's your left hand that wraps around your right wrist. Tip that over to the left. Even if it's just a little bit of a tip, you might feel that right hip get a little bit longer. Reach the hands back up. Now you get to open up to that warrior two. Should feel nice. Maybe bringing in a little bit more heat in the legs. Take what you need in the arms. Just here for a breath in and a breath out. You get to straighten the legs, parallel the feet, face the long edge of your mat. Your hands can come to your hips first, and then you can hinge at the waist here, or hinge at the hips rather, and fold forward. So once your hands touch the ground, if you want, you can bend that one knee And then the other, taking that side sort of lunge, right and left. If you want both legs straight here to feel the back of the legs get a little bit longer, the legs don't even have to be all the way straight. You can keep your knees bent to still get that length in the back of the legs. Take one more breath in wherever you are. Now look at your left foot, frame it with your hands as you turn the left toes forward. You'll bring the right knee down, reach the hands up overhead, and then left knee comes to meet the right. Hook the thumbs overhead one last time, create that letter O, lift the chest, lift the face a bit, and then release the hands down. Tabletop pose, last time here to find cow on your inhale, cat on your exhale. You can take your knees a little bit wider apart. Maybe you draw your toes, your big toes together or towards one another behind you, and then send your seat back towards your heels. You can drop onto your forearms. Sometimes it's nice to have that pillow right underneath your chest to find an easy, restful child's pose. Maybe even just dropping your forehead down or letting your head hang. Wherever you land, come back to that almost like a mantra of breathing in to expand, breathing out to soften. And just 2 more rounds. Breathe in and soften. One more like that on your own. And slowly start to lift your head up. Just come back to hands and knees. Keep that pillow close by. You can move it off to the side and come to a seat. You'll just bring your legs to an easy seat. Maybe one ankle or one shin in front of the other. You're not here long. Just bring your hands to your knees if you can, and then sit up nice and tall on your inhale. Soften the shoulders on your exhale. And then one more breath like that, just landing in a seat as you inhale. Maybe even open up your mouth. Slow sigh out. And then look behind you. Make sure you have enough space to lie down, but you'll come onto your back. Once you're on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet, and then just heel toe your feet a little bit wider than your hips, just a little bit wider. Make sure your toes, all 10 toes, are still pointing forward. And this has been my new favorite move here. Keep your knees separated here and your feet a little wider than your hips, but then just drop both knees over to the right. And you might notice a stretch in the front of the quad muscle, the left quad muscle in particular. If you want, your hands can rest on your torso somewhere. Sometimes it feels nice to reach them out like the letter T, with the palms facing up. And then you'll come back, bring your knees back up through center, and then let both knees fall over to the left. And it's not about how low they go, it's just finding that place where you get a gentle twist in the spine, but also creating a little bit more space in the hips and the muscles in the front of that right leg. And if you want to move through each side again, you certainly can. Or it might feel nice to keep your feet wide, but now knock your knees together to find internal rotation. of the thigh bones. A breath in here. A big sigh out. And heel to your feet just a little bit closer together, back to that hips width distance. And you can stay here or start to bring your knees towards your chest or towards your armpits here, just giving a little gentle squeeze. Sometimes it feels nice to rock side to side. If that's too sensitive on your tailbone, just bring your feet back down to the ground. Take one more breath in and out. And then you'll start to make your way to a restful position. So in for what we would call your shavasana or final relaxation, we always end here. And take what you need. So if it's a blanket or a pillow under your head, or even sliding a pillow underneath your knees can be really nice and supportive for the low back. Take whatever it is that you need. I've even been using one of these little eye pillows that I was so generously gifted over my eyes, but you can even place your hands over your eyes or something. If you have like a hood or something, sometimes it's just really nice to have something to keep your awareness inward. But you can, of course, just simply close your eyes if that feels okay. Take the time to allow your body to rest and get into the comfortable shape. And then just take one big inhale. And then again, if you'd like, open the mouth, feel the jaw soften as you exhale. And you'll stay here for just a bit of time. But give yourself permission to let every part of your body soften. So sometimes it's helpful to start all the way down at your toes. So bring your awareness to your toes if you can, and maybe even the bottom of your feet, your heels, and your ankles. Allow them to soften, release, and relax. And bring your awareness up the back of your legs, your knees, and even the front of your legs. Your awareness to your hips, to your pelvis, and even your belly and your chest. Allow them all to release, soften, and relax. Allow your awareness to travel to your shoulders, down your arms, to your elbows, then your wrists, the palms of your hands, even down to the tips of your fingers. Allow them to soften, release, and relax. And take your focus to your neck, the sides of your neck, the back of your neck, even the front of your throat. The muscles in your jaw, and the muscles of your mouth, maybe even your tongue. And the features of your face, so your eyes, the muscles in your eyebrows, and even your forehead. Allow them to soften, to release, and to relax. So you give yourself that gift of stillness and ease from your toes all the way out to the top of your head. You let your whole body here, even the space in between your ears, soften, release, and relax. And just notice your next few rounds of breath. Notice as they travel in and out. With that sense of ease, can you find just slow, subtle, intuitive movement? Maybe in your fingers, in your toes. Might even rock your head so slowly side to side. And in your own time, there's no rush. Start to bend your knees and roll to your side and pause there. And then slowly bring yourself up to a seat. If you'd like to grab a pillow to sit on top of course you can. We're not here long at all. Stillness is a place. You can find it in the desert or in the mountains. You can find it when you're alone or when you're in the midst of people. You can find stillness wherever you are, whatever you're going through. Stillness is a place within you. Slow down, breathe deeply, get quiet, and become familiar with stillness. Take time to learn its power. In this place of stillness, you might stay just as you are, or bring your hands together right in front of your heart to feel your sternum lift Might even bow your chin, your face towards that space, and just take a moment to honor yourself for creating time and space in your day, to create space in your body, space in your breath, maybe even space, a little more space in your mind. And take a breath in and out. Another reminder that this practice is just a time where you can be a little bit kinder to yourself. And remember that no matter how big or small that effort or movement or even stillness may be, no effort is ever wasted. And if you'd like, you can bring your thumb tips to the center of your forehead, maybe lift your chin, lift your face. Namaste.